What's up, guys? Dan here, bringing you episode number 6 of Vana Talk. We had the Windower dev team. We had Zeta and Iryoku and Nifum, and we got a nice insight of Windower and the future plans of Windower. So without further ado, I hope you guys enjoy this episode. If you guys do like it, hit that like button, hit the subscribe, and comment below if you want me to grab a certain guest for the future episodes or want me to talk about any other topic. But without further ado, I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you guys later. Peace. Alright, we got a couple people from the Windower dev team today. We got Zeta, Iryoku, and Nifim.
Hi.
So, how's it going, guys? How's your Saturday so far?
I've been doing okay.
Can't complain here.
Just breaking stuff.
Breaking stuff. Well, welcome to the show. Are you guys you guys are still playing, right? You guys are still consistently playing, or
I have not played Final Fantasy XI for several years.
Ooh, that was actually, I need to remember names. Okay, that was Iryoku, right?
Yes.
But you still work on Windower and stuff like that?
Yep.
Cool. What about you, Zeta?
Yeah, I've been on break for a couple months, but you know, I could still consider myself active.
Okay, and Nifim?
Same with me.
Oh, okay. Wow, interesting. And you got, when did you guys all start? And were you guys when did you guys actually join the Windower team? Actually, let me go there. When did you guys actually start with the Windower development team?
I guess I'll go first.
Sure.
I joined. It was near the end of Wings of the Goddess, around the time Abyssium was starting to come out, I think. Yeah, I was asked to convert a tool that I had made for binding to keys on, like the macro keys on some Logitech keyboards into a plugin, and that's how I joined.
Huh.
Yeah, I think I joined 2 or 3 years ago, something like that. There was just a post that I think Archon had made on the auction house forums, and I saw and messaged people and got in that.
That sounds about right.
And I joined like a year ago. Same thing. Archon's post on the auction house forums.
Nice. Okay, so it's been so the Wings of the Goddess, that's you're the oldest member out of the three, right? Iryoku?
Yep. I
Okay.
think I'm actually the oldest member on the Windower team, that's still active.
Oh, okay. How many people are active on the team right now?
Quite a few. Archon's definitely still active. Let me just look at the list.
It looks like we have like 12 people on our dev channel, but maybe, I don't know, 6 to 8 probably actively doing stuff at varying times.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Gotcha. Okay, so here's the big topic, right? Windower 5. What stages is it at right now?
I think I would describe it as kind of an early access developer preview kind of thing. It's released in a state that is intended for add-on developers to try it out, give us feedback, and tell us what needs to be improved, tell us what needs to be fixed, what's broken, etc.
I mean, is there a reason why we're going from Windower 4 to Windower 5? Like, is there something special that's gonna be added to it, or is it just gonna be like an update look kind of?
Well, there's a few reasons why we're going ahead with Windower 5. The biggest reason is just that we're kind of tied down by Windower 4. There's a lot of code in there that we do not have permission to like release. And one of the things I would like to do is at some point release the source code. So that required basically an entire rewrite. But there's also just a lot of really old and badly written code in Windower 4. And that has complicated maintenance a lot. So anytime something breaks, sometimes it can take us a long time to figure out how it broke just because the bugs are so subtle.
Okay, makes sense. So how long? Wait, how long has it been in early access now?
I think
a year or so?
I think we posted it about a year ago, the original V5 Alpha post one. And it's honestly made a lot of progress since then. It's significantly farther along since we originally put it out there, but it's been about.
Progress is definitely going slower than I would like, and that's mostly just lack of time to work on it.
True. When do you foresee beta coming out for?
There's a few major bugs that need to be fixed. There's a few more features that need to be added, and there's one really big plugin or add-on that needs to be.
I think ported. I know what it is.
Yes.
Obviously, that big add-on would be Gear Swap, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Now, what's the problem with Gear Swap? Because I just actually, within the past few months, I just changed over to Cylindril's Gear Swap, and you know how intense that shit is. Has a lot of shit in there, and pretty much, I don't think I could actually play without Gear Swap. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I couldn't either.
So what is the, I guess, the hiccup with that? If you could like simplify it.
What do you mean hiccup? Like,
I mean, pretty much there's no Gear Swap at all for Windower 5, correct?
Yeah, and the reason for that is just it's a very big task to rewrite that. We have made progress. We've got sort of a plan in place for how we're going to go about implementing it, and work has started, but it's probably going to take a little while.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I think it's kind of at the point now where we have a bunch of individual components of it put together, but it's the assembling it that's going to take a little.
Okay. So is there a reason why you guys just took a break from the game, or is it just work related? Like you have no time, you're trying to juggle real life and Windower developing and shit like that, or is it just the game has became stale for you? I'm curious.
For me personally, it was just kind of, it lost its sheen. I was no longer interested in actually playing. Most of my friends had left, so I stopped playing. Eventually I moved on to 14, and that's the one I am actively playing now. But I still really enjoy working on Windower, so I stick around.
Okay. That's Iryoku, right? What would spark your interest on coming back to the game and playing and replacing 14?
I'm not really sure anything would at this point. If a bunch of my friends decided they were all going to start playing 11 again, I would probably be persuaded into playing, but I don't see that happening at this point. So
it's more of a, if your crew came back, then I'll give it a shot again. Even if they, if they added new content and stuff like that. Okay. I know a lot of people like that because it's an MMORPG, right? You want to play with your friends.
Exactly.
Gotcha. What about you, Zeta?
Yeah, for me, since it's only a month or two ago that I kind of went on my break, it was more that my link shell had basically cleared everything available in the game right now. We finished everything in Dynamis Divergence. cleared all the bosses, got all the titles and everything even. And so we were just kind of getting a little burned out, and those of us in the leadership didn't really have the time to carry things on in that mode anymore. So, we'll take a little break and we'll probably, reassemble at some point.
Gotcha. What about you, Nifim?
I've been on a break for a while, just because my LS moved to the big server. And,
Is there? Okay.
Yeah, didn't feel like moving, and been going to school. So between that and trying to get on Windower, it's not a lot of time.
Understandable. Okay. I mean that's the main reason, right? It's not like the game became shit. I mean, some people I don't want to say it. Some people burn themselves out of the game.
For sure.
And I'm kind of at that point right now, because I'm just trying to like constantly gear all these characters, because I multi-box. I play several different characters at the same time, and I don't know, it's kind of draining. That's why I don't play like a lot anymore. I just stream it, just help people out and stream. But I think we need new content in 11. I think Zeta is the only one that's actually been pretty recent with the content. I think we need new content, and I think the new Windower, I think that would be pretty huge, Can you give us a little sneak peek on any new add-ons or any new things that's gonna be coming with Windower 5?
I can think of a few things that are already implemented that are working really well. The new version of Send has a number of really cool features.
Okay. Yeah, please, for the multi-boxers out there, please elaborate on that.
So it has very good support for sub-targeting, ST, whatever you call it. So that was one of the things that was kind of historically very difficult to do, whereas like you'd select the target with your main character and try to send that target to one of your other characters.
Right.
And that was always very difficult to get to work up until now. But V5 makes that very easy, because it has very excellent support for managing that kind of fine detail about targeting.
Okay. Actually, my Cylindril actually created an add-on recently called Send All Target. Now it does kind of wig out here and there, but this is just you're talking about like a straight refined version, and it's just clean.
Oh yeah, and in fact that add-on for Windower 4 came out because of our discussions about how we could possibly kind of simulate what V5 could do. So it's not quite the same. There's a lot of problems with the way it's implemented in Windower 4, and we can't really work around those problems. So it's just kind of stuck in this weird state where it kind of works, but not really. And it works just really, really well in V5.
Okay. Also, I've been having this issue with my chat box my chat breaking when I extend it, and then especially if I'm multi-boxing, it just completely breaks. I've tried I think it was Sandbox or something like that that's supposed to fix it, but it just shits the bed every time. Is that going to be fixed in the new Windower, or?
That is a very old problem, and I don't think we can ever fix it entirely. But some of the things that I would like to implement in Windower 5 should make it very easy to make an add-on to fix that pretty well. Like I said, I don't think we can fix it entirely.
Okay.
It's a pretty deeply embedded bug in the game, but we can do our best.
Gotcha. Any other juicy sneak peeks that we can
I mean, there's so much stuff that's sort of implemented already or partially implemented. I'm trying to think of what a good example might be.
I mean, the kind of the obvious cool thing to show off is the new UI tools that we have in V5.
Oh, yes.
So, in V4 you can kind of make text boxes and put images on the screen and things like that. But in V5 there's entire new UI engine that we have. So you can create windows and use, put forms, so you'll be able to, create an actual configuration window for each add-on, that sort of thing.
Okay.
So yeah, and I made a demo video of that quite some time ago. So I can give you the link for that or something if you want.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll post it in my Discord, and I'll post it on the YouTube video later. Yeah, man. I'm so down. Hopefully window or the gear swap thing. Hopefully that gets situated. So
one of our goals for V5 with the new user interface stuff is that we would really like it so that people never have to edit a configuration file ever again. They can just click a button, it opens up a window, you change all your settings, you save it, and you're good to go.
Yeah, I've been actually just recently had to delete Treasury because it's been fucking up, and I just deleted the whole add-on and re-added it because I would log in, right, and I would have my settings all there for all my characters, and then the next time I log in, the settings would just completely be gone and it would just be all fucked up. And I've been having a lot of issues with that. Oh, I got the link here. I don't know. I'm not too sure on what the problem is for that. And also,
I wouldn't know.
Yeah, so I just ended up deleting. Treasury and re-downloading it and redoing the configs for that. Okay, here's a question. Is there a way that you can make logging in multiple? You know how there's only 4 people on Play Online? That's just straight Play Online, right? There's no way to.
Yeah. Yes.
I think I've seen a couple things on the auction house forum, but if there's more than 4 accounts that you want to log in, you always have to go through guest, correct? There's no way Windower can actually implement something where you don't have to go through that process, or
that's a very commonly asked thing, and there are things that we can do, and I would like to at some point get around to actually implementing them. Sort of like one of the things that I'd like to do is basically sort of give you a how to describe this, like banks of 4 accounts. So you would have a list of banks that you would select from in the launcher for Windower, and it would swap out the 4 accounts for you. Because
okay.
The 4 accounts are actually saved on a file on your hard disk, and we can swap those files in and out. But I've never actually tried to implement it, but it should be possible to do.
So it'd be like two different launchers, right? One would be like main character launcher, and then one would be like the mule launcher, and then you hit the mule launcher, it's all the mule POL IDs and shit like that, right? That's
yeah,
coming
like
up
they'd be
on
different profiles in the launcher.
Gotcha. Okay, yeah, I mean, something like that would definitely save a lot of time. You know what I mean? Instead of going through the guest login and putting in 17 passwords, because obviously right now in Final Fantasy 11, Play Online will always be one of the hardest mega bosses to fucking get through. You know, I think it's the shittiest.
And
fucking
it's
system.
also very commonly asked if there's any way we can get rid of the whole login process, and I would love to, but I don't really know how to do that easily right now. It's theoretically possible, but but yeah, it's a bit much, and I'm not really sure how to even tackle that problem.
Yeah, I think
I'd love
that's
to, though.
yeah, I think that's a really hard problem that we I mean, if you guys could do it, kudos to you. I would fucking yeah. I would shed some tears. That would be amazing.
If we could do it, that would be the #1 feature for Windower 5.
Oh, absolutely. You have to
And
showcase the fuck out of that. So that's what other questions are asked a lot for you guys on the Windower team?
One would be, is the support channel okay for questions?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. People have
Yeah,
the
we
bad
do
habit
that.
of asking if it's okay to ask a question, right? It's like, yeah, just ask the question.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, that's a good one. Jesus Christ. So is that the most asked? Actually, I actually can.
That's probably the most asked question.
It's pretty
Oh.
common. A lot of the other stuff we'll get is asking for help with some particular problem someone's having, or if they're trying to do something in gear swap or whatever, they might ask us then in that. But for the most part, Windows 4 has been pretty stable for a while, so there's not too many questions around that often anyway.
Okay, here's another issue that's been brought to me, and I have the same issue as well. So I mean, this is from a multi-boxing perspective, but you know the plugin config, correct? It raises your FPS to 60 and shit like that. So in the config, you're able to turn off the auto disconnect after 30 minutes or whatever the fucking default is, but every time I log in more than 4 and it's set to turn off, it's still on, the auto disconnect.
That is a question we'd have to ask Archon, because I don't know the answer to that.
Okay.
That was his plugin.
Yeah, because I've been having a lot of issues with that, and even if you turn it off, right, and you log into a mule, like say you log out of the main character and then you go into a mule, and then you go back on, it'll turn right back on. Or one of the other characters that you turned off, it'll turn right back on.
Yeah, I wonder if that's some way tied to the the 4 Play Online account issue as well, if that's actually stored in there somehow or something.
It could maybe be some sort of settings conflict where one character's settings are overriding another character's settings. That's something that we've had trouble with in the past.
Okay. Yeah, that's because that's been frustrating me and a few other people. I don't know if a lot of people have that issue, but it's been an ongoing issue ever since I came back. Yeah, it sucks. Now, is there anything you guys want to ask, the public, about Windower itself, or any advice or something that you want to hear from the public about Windower, what they think that you guys should implement, or any ideas that you can grab?
I mean, honestly, I would just say that if anyone has an interest in V5 getting out sooner, they should just grab it and start poking around at it. Even though some big plugins and add-ons are still missing, that sort of thing. The more people are looking at it and poking at it, the sooner we'll find any bugs that are still there. And just having the exposure will help us.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll definitely, when I reactivate my brand new character, I pretty much made like a newbie character, and obviously it doesn't have gear, so I think I can use WinDower 5 on that, just because I don't have to use gear swap. Like I said,
Right.
that's gonna be the biggest issue, right? Even if you want people to poke around on it, it's probably gonna be not really doing much, because like I said, gear swap
Right.
is the biggest issue for that. Now, when gear swap gets released, yeah, I think you'll definitely have a lot more people messing around on it. But for the most
Yeah,
part, you
that's
said
kind of
it's
what I
going-
expect.
Yeah. I mean, there's nothing you guys can do, right? You know what I mean? Like, I'm not. You know, you guys are working on it, so we have to kind of patiently wait. It's pretty much time, right? That's all we can. That's all we can wait on.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing holding us back for sure. Yeah, just availability.
Yep.
Do you guys have like a timeline, or is it just like just kind of hit it as we go?
It's really, we work on it when we can find the time to do so, and sometimes that's hard to find.
Gotcha.
It-
No,
uh,
I understand.
It feels like it kind of goes in spurts, you know. So like, there was a whole bunch of work last winter, right before we put out the initial V5 alpha, and then we kind of went dormant for a few months, and now just recently we've had a whole bunch more activity again. So, hopefully we can keep the momentum going, but we'll see how.
Oh, absolutely. I had Rooks on for the last episode, and he has the real life job, the 9 to 5, and he does as much as he can. So I understand where you guys are coming from as well. You have your day shit to do, and then you come back and you have to find the time. Now when you guys do the coding and stuff like that, you guys all have to be on at the same time, or can you guys work on it separately and kind of like join in? I don't do any coding, so I have no idea on
For the most part, things happen sort of in parallel. Like one day I'll be working on something and I'll check the code in, and other people can test it out and try it. And some days we might have 3 people all working on different parts of it, and other days it might just be one person or nobody. Sometimes we just don't have anybody working on anything. But yeah, we don't all have to be there. That's definitely not the case.
Which is good, since many, I don't think any of us are in the same time zone. The ones that are frequently around anyway.
Oh, where
I think-
are you guys all? Where are all of you guys from? Sorry, I can't talk right now. Yeah, are you guys
Actually,
like?
I do think Zeta and I are in the same time zone.
Oh, are we?
I'm in
Okay.
Texas.
Yeah,
Okay.
Wisconsin.
Okay.
And then I'm Seattle.
Oh, okay. That's not. I mean, that's not terrible.
Archon
Yeah,
is
well,
Germany.
Oh yeah. I
Yeah.
mean that's pretty terrible. That's what a 7 for you guys for the mid the central time zone. That's what, 8 hours, 9 hours actually.
something like that. Yeah.
It's a bunch, yeah.
Ooh. Man, I was actually hoping to get Archon on here, but I know Germany. It's fucking hella early for him right now.
Yeah, he actually said, like probably an hour before this started, he was basically saying he was trying to stay up, but he had to go to bed.
Unfortunate. Hopefully, I can catch him one-on-one offline or off stream and kind of get his input on stuff. But I guess he's the head of WinDower right now, or who'd
I
you say
guess
is the head of WinDower?
Everybody says that I am, but
Mhm.
I don't know that I actually am.
Okay, so it's like, it's kind of
So,
like everybody's role is like spread out, right?
Yeah. I mean, I
Yeah.
guess my perception of it is like the kind of the core is you, Iryoku, and Archon. Between the two of you, kind of.
I kind of think is Archon as the boss, but he says that I am. So
Right. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Is there any other like major developer that you want to shout out, or that's on the team, or
Well, big thanks to Care and Birth. They've both been very helpful throughout the years. Birth is actually the one responsible for the original gear swap. And Care has just been super helpful with everything. He seems to know everything about this game.
I've been trying to get Care on this fucking show, and I think he's dodging me a little bit. Actually, no, I think he was busy for a bit. He's AFK a lot in game. I try to.
Yeah.
I see him.
He's
around.
AFK a lot on Discord too.
Yeah, when I mentioned this podcast, he said, you know, he's extremely busy in real life right now, so he wouldn't be able.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, somebody asked, would donations help speed this along? I'm assuming that's when we were talking about gear swap part, or in general, would donations help speed along the process of Windower 5?
I'm kind of hesitant to even start accepting donations because historically, really, Windower hasn't, and I'm not really comfortable changing that.
Yeah, I feel that would lead us down a kind of shady
Dark
legal path,
Yeah.
you know. So I don't think it's something we want to do.
Now, if people really wanted to just donate to you guys and appreciate all of your guys' work, where would they go? Is there a link that they can go to, or is just
there's really nothing.
I don't think
Okay.
we even have
That's
anything set
not
up
thing
now.
we-
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, maybe in the future. Maybe in the future, right? I mean, you guys are doing you guys' thing. Maybe in the future that can be a thing. I think I've seen something like that for BG Wiki, like a donation area that we can definitely donate to. But yeah, I really do appreciate what you guys do. You know, you're not even playing the game essentially, and you guys are still working on. You guys still have that passion for the game, and that's freaking awesome. Now, if there was something that you would be able to change about 11, whether it would be gameplay wise, minus the whole fucking play online login system, what would you want Square Enix to add to 11 to make it even greater?
I have an answer for this. 100% the user interface needs a redo.
Now, do you think the reason why the user interface is still shit is because they're still keeping the whole place when they're in the console stage?
I have no idea. Poking around at the internals, it looks like the user interface is pretty tightly integrated with the rest of the system, so that's probably why. Seems like it's probably a little bit difficult to replace, but it would be really nice if they replaced it, at least from my perspective.
Okay. What about you, Nifim?
Actually, same thing. And
Okay.
I kind of hope that we can replace it with version 5.
Okay. And you, Zeta?
It's something that can never happen because of history, but my dream would be that they had never done the item level thing and had simply just increased the level cap far sooner than they actually did. You know, the item level is kind of just a weird workaround to increasing the level cap, so you know, things probably could be better if they had not done that.
The level cap set at 75 for way too long. And that really messed up a lot of things.
Also, Wings of Goddess was out for way too long and not finished, and that fucked up a lot of things.
Yeah, it took like 2 years to come out.
It finished during I think we talked about this before. I think it finished during Abyssia. That's when they wrapped up the whole story.
I think so.
Jesus. I mean, Square Enix is definitely adding content to the game, I guess, per se. You know, they're doing the monthly ambuscade changes. They're adding in items. I don't know if you guys have been paying attention to the game at all recently, but they've pretty much made these new weapons that you get from ambuscade, and they're pretty close to Rima's relics, Empyreans, mythics.
Oh, the Kaja weapons, yeah.
Yeah, it's actually pretty gnarly right now because like the sword does like 15% more Savage Blade damage, and Savage Blade is broken. Now like the axe does like plus 100% decimation damage. It's some fucking stupid shit right now going on in 11.
I think one thing that I'm looking forward to is whatever content they end up attaching reforged Empyrean gear to, the +2 and +3 stuff.
Okay, so if that came out, would you actually start? Would you check it out? Would you come and check it out?
Well, I think my link shell, probably most people are kind of holding out for that before coming back. That would definitely bring people back in because those gear sets are so good to begin with that having the further upgraded versions would be really interesting.
Right. And I know Hiroki said, it's pretty much his friends, if his friends started up, then he would play again. And I don't remember what Nifim said for that, for coming back to the game. It was just time. Yeah.
But I'm trying to get back into it now.
Are you playing 14?
I am a little bit.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you guys, Iroku and Nifim haven't played in, I guess, some time. It's actually not in a bad state. But it's very easy to burn yourself out, and yeah. But yeah, if you guys ever have time, you guys should definitely check it out. The new Dynamis. I've never liked Dynamis, but the new Dynamis, Wave 3 is definitely something interesting. It's definitely difficult content. Yeah. No, go ahead. Sorry.
No. Yeah, I don't really have a follow up to that.
All right. So we can take a couple questions here. If you have anybody in chat that have any questions for the Windower developer team devs. But yeah, actually I had another question. So I got a pic. What was it? Nifim just posted a picture, the party invite. Wow. How long did it take you guys to actually implement something like that, or to figure that out? So pretty much, for the people listening right now, if you can imagine, when you get invited to a party, a little box, a little pop-up shows up, and it says, so and so invited you to join their party, and there's two little clickable things, or three little clickable things, either accept or decline, and then there's a checkbox where you can actually remember the person, so that's like auto invite or auto join, right? Or
right, exactly.
For the future.
And also auto decline.
Oh, that's fucking sick, actually. So it'll now so you accidentally hit the remember this person and hit decline. Now you just have to do // AJ whitelist whatever and do that, correct?
Right now, yes, but in the future it'll have a config window that you just remove that person's name from it.
Okay. What other add-ons and stuff like that are you gonna implement that?
Actually, one more thing about this one, just because I made it and I'm really excited about it.
Hey, let's go.
The party invite is only half of it. You can actually get one where you send a request to someone and a box pops on their screen and says someone has requested to join your party. Do you want to allow it or not?
Oh, okay. I clicked the wrong thing, by the way. That's pretty cool. So you could essentially use that that system for a lot of the shit in game, huh? That's actually pretty cool. I'm actually really excited to see that.
I just want to point out that NIF managed to knock this add-on out in just like a day or two. The tools we have in place now in WinDoor 5 for like writing add-ons are really nice. The API has turned out to be really good, and it just makes a lot of this stuff really easy now.
It is so fun to work in. Really good.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just looking at it. Gets me super excited. It kind of brings that fresh feel to the game, you know. It's like, oh, okay, ooh, piece of candy. It's something new, and it just aesthetically looks a lot better. I'm actually super excited for that, guys. Shit. I actually just looked at that picture right now. All right. Okay, we got a question here. A good question would be, going from V4 to V5, how seamless would it be for other developers? I'm assuming that's plugin and or add-on developers?
So originally we were planning to have some sort of compatibility layer, so you could basically just take your existing add-on and maybe make a few tiny modifications and it would just work. But we pretty quickly just decided we weren't going to go that route. And we decided we're going to just completely break compatibility and redo the entire API from scratch and just try to do it right this time, because we've never been happy with the API in V4. So things will probably require some work to port if you're just going to port an old add-on.
Mm-hmm.
But the API is turning out to be really nice and really easy to work with, so hopefully that shouldn't be too much of a difficult process.
Okay.
I've just posted another
I saw that.
There.
That looks fucking sick. So do those bars move with when your character moves too? So it's
they absolutely do, yes.
Oh my lord. I'm gonna post this in chat. Gee, that's clean. I like it. Okay, so you know how back in the day when every time there was an update, right? It would break all the plugins. Now that's not an issue, right? For the most part,
it shouldn't be. I mean, there's always a possibility something will break, but things have been pretty stable recently anyway. And when things do break, WinDoor 5 should be significantly easier for us to fix.
Okay. Yeah. Wow. That screenshot looks fucking sick, Zeta. This is definitely something that I'm super excited for. And I will definitely try to get more people to poke around on WinDoor 5. Just so you guys could get the bugs issued out or resolved rather, because you know, more input is definitely a lot better, right? It's
absolutely. Even if somebody like plays with it for 5 minutes and makes it crash, we want to know about it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So you could prevent that from happening in the future, so you don't have to deal with that BS and nonsense later on. And yeah. I've actually mentioned this before. I think it was when I had Cylindrical on the show. I mean, if there was a way that Square Enix can kind of have like a liaison team, like a third-party team, and just implement all this shit and give you guys resources to implement all this shit, that would be fucking amazing. You know what I mean? Like in World of Warcraft, for example, they allow add-ons in the game, right? You could download fucking add-ons that are approved, people that made it. You just download it, like DBM. I don't know if you guys played World of Warcraft before, but there's a lot of shit like DB. You know what DBM is and all that. And you can implement it into the game. Now, if Square Enix did something like that, I think that would be something amazing. But I don't know. I don't think
I
that'll
agree,
ever
but
happen.
I don't think that'll ever happen.
Right. All right, we have another question. Can you ask them if they are going to include anything regarding NVIDIA Optimus, or are they just gonna let DG Voodoo do it?
I have some plans regarding that, but I'm not really sure if I want to talk about them just yet.
But
But
so it's
things
still in the...
should be better.
Okay. Well, I have no idea what NVIDIA Optimus is, to be honest.
So it's the
It's
issue. Yeah, it's the issue on the laptops that have a discrete NVIDIA GPU on them, where because of the age of the game, it doesn't trigger the GPU properly, and it ends up running on the integrated graphics instead. So your performance is really bad.
Okay. Yeah.
So DG Voodoo does some magic in between there that actually gets it to run on the right GPU, so you get normal graphics performance.
Okay, yeah, I've actually had a few people deal with that issue. Okay, so that's still in like the baby stages, not even really worked on.
I haven't even started implementing anything.
Right.
But I have a few ideas about what I'd like to do for that problem.
That should be like a common question, right? Because I guess you get a lot of inquiries about that.
It comes up occasionally, but it's not as common as you might think.
Okay. Yeah, because who plays on a laptop? Play on a desktop. I don't know.
And it's not all laptops either. It's just the ones that have dedicated graphics cards.
Right.
In addition to the integrated on the CPU. So
specifically NVIDIA ones, yeah, I think. So yeah, like if you have a laptop that has an AMD GPU, the issue is not the same.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so also, you know how there's those HD overhauls going around? People doing that. Is there a way to I know this sounds really dumb, but is there a way to kind of implement that into Windows, like an option to like kind of install it all? Like, oh, I want the HD package. Hit a button on the interface on the Windows, like before you get into the game.
That is something that I have wanted to do for many years, and I have some ideas about how to do it, and it's actually related to the whole sandbox issue. And I have some plans in play. Like I have some plans for this would actually be available to other add-on devs too, but I have some plans in place for a way to allow add-ons to dynamically swap out game files without actually modifying anything on the hard drive. So it would basically be possible to create sort of a mod manager add-on that could and actually something like this exists for Ashita already, but the way I want to do it is a little bit different than the way they did it. So
okay. All right, one more question from me, and I'll read off a couple questions that came up. Okay, so how do you compare Windower to Ashita? Windower obviously has been out a lot longer. I was just brought to my attention about Ashita. I have no idea what Ashita offers, but how would you compare yourself to Ashita? How would you compare Windower?
I knew I was going to get asked this as soon as I mentioned it. But I would say they're fairly similar in terms of feature set. It's more just a difference in philosophy in terms of like what we will allow in our like add-on repository.
Okay. I mean, i.e., pretty much cheating shit, right?
Sure.
I know, I know a lot of people that use Ashita and do some weird stuff with it. I mean, it is what it is, right? I mean, there's a lot of shit for windowware, like what do you call it? Anchor, for example, right?
Yeah, and we realize that kind of thing exists, and we can't really do anything to stop it.
Right.
And if people want to write that kind of stuff, like, we can't stop you, but we also basically still have that policy where we're not going to allow things of that nature, like, to be distributed via our repository.
Right. It'll never be up on the windower launcher. But also, if you go into the plugins section and you put in the Konami code, you get J08. Now, is that like a kind of like, I'm gonna just let that slide?
Personally, I feel it kind of crosses the line, but that's from before I even joined, so.
Okay. Well, yeah.
Although, well, there's kind of an anecdote there. J0 obviously predates my involvement in Windower, but I am actually the one who implemented the Konami code.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
That was specifically a request from the previous lead developer, Arias. He specifically asked me, "Can you include the Konami code?" And I was like, "Sure, I can do that."
Oh man, I can't. I don't think. Okay, there's the two things I can't play without in this game. It's J08 and Gear Swap. I can't. Getting locked while in an animation is probably the worst thing in the world. Yeah,
I mean, I think that one's kind of a gray area. I don't really personally have a huge problem with it, but I think that's the real reason why it's under the Konami code, because it's like, it's not really bad, but it's not a clear cut, this is okay.
Right. Somebody asked, is V5 going to increase CPU load or RAM usage at all?
We should see dramatically less RAM usage. CPU usage should probably be about the same.
Okay. Yeah, my CPU usage, when I have 7 characters logged in, it distributes it evenly. I haven't figured out a way to kind of lower it by. Some people told me to put it on different cores, I believe. I still haven't gotten that to work at all, unfortunately.
I generally discourage changing the CPU affinity of your processes, just because that really limits the operating system's ability to load balance. Some people say that it helps, and sometimes, like, you have a core that's just really underperforming. Zeta experienced that, like, I don't know, 6 months ago.
Yeah, that was very weird.
So sometimes that can help, but usually I would say just let the operating system do its job.
Okay. Gotcha.
But yeah, in terms of CPU usage, I don't think Windower 5 will change that much. But you should see a lot less RAM usage, just because, well, we have a new system in place that lets add-ons share data between them, and that allowed us to, in fact, I implemented this feature just for this, but that allows us to, instead of having a copy of all of the resources loaded in every single add-on, we can have it loaded in one, and then just share that data across all the add-ons.
Ooh,
which,
okay.
Again, that should dramatically reduce the amount of RAM usage that's needed, like, just across the board. Because you'll have less copies of the same data. Fewer copies, I should say.
Yeah, that actually sounds really good. Okay, so this was we talked about this like 5 minutes ago, but Ejin asked, what do you consider going too far in terms of add-ons? Is there a red line policy wise? Is it similar to Warframe's policy, as long as you're at your computer to run it, keep it going? Is it fine? I know we talked about that moments ago, but what crosses that line?
I think you'd get a different answer from everybody on the dev team.
Oh, I want to hear all of you guys' answer.
For me personally, I draw the line. You have to be, if you push a button, then anything can happen, but you have to actually push that button for every like major outcome. Whereas if it's just the add-on or whatever playing the game for you and you don't even have to be there, then that's crossing the line for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, that's kind of where I fall along that, at least for, what goes into our own official repository. In terms of what people are doing, on their own, I tend to not really care what people are doing as long as it's not affecting other players. But yeah, as far as what goes into our repo, I think it's if you're instructing the game to do something, then I don't care what it does as long as you're sitting there doing it.
Oh, what about you,
And
Nifm?
for me, I actually made an add-on called Her Herd, which auto follows all your characters. I feel like that's actually over the line, which is why you'll never see it on the official repo.
Okay. Make sure you message me later. I want that add-on, by the way. Okay. There's that add-on craft. That just sits there and crafts for you all day. Do you think that's over the? Do you think that's crossing it, or?
I would definitely say that crosses the line for me.
It's on the launcher.
That's the sort of thing where I totally don't care about someone using that because it doesn't
affect other players,
affect anybody else. But yeah, I don't know if that belongs in our own repository.
Well,
yeah, some of the stuff in the launcher, I'm not even sure how it ended up in there, and I would like to remove a few of them, but.
Okay, name one that you would like to refute. I'm opening up the launcher right now. Let's see.
I would say the oldest one in there that I wish we hadn't accepted would be Auto RA.
Yeah. Causes range attacks to behave the same as melee auto attacks. Why is that? I'm actually curious.
Again, it feels like it crosses the line for me, but I mean, it's not a huge deal. It's not a particularly it's not going to cause any issues game balance wise, so I don't care that much. But I do kind of wish we hadn't accepted that one.
Okay. What about you, Zeta? If you had to take one add-on out of the launcher, there's a lot. Holy shit. Oh yeah, I didn't even notice half of these add-ons. But yeah, Zeta, if you had to take out one add-on from the launcher, what would it be? Oh wait, can you guys hear me?
I can hear you.
Oh.
Did we lose him?
Oh, there we go. Sorry about that.
I was like, damn, he's ignoring the fuck out of me right now.
No, my push to talk button stopped working there for a second.
But yeah, Jesus.
I'm not sure what I would remove. I mean, Auto RA is the obvious, but beyond that, there's so many of them in there that are just old and not really relevant anymore. So we could probably do some culling anyway.
Yeah, I think there needs to be like a purge of stuff that's not used. That list is long.
That's another thing we would like to improve for V5. We kind of have agreed, all of us collectively, that we're going to reject anything that like duplicates another add-on's functionality. We would much rather people like improve the existing add-ons than just here's a new add-on that does the same thing but slightly differently.
Okay.
Right, and so people are going to have their own, maybe they have a different version of something that's in there officially, but they like some other version. So we're hoping to have some functionality that will make it easier to have those still be auto-loaded and things like that. Like right now you have to either, just download the Lua files and stick them in your add-ons folder and add them to your auto exec or use plugin manager or whatever. That sort of thing should be improved for stuff that's not in the official repository in V5.
For sure.
Yeah, we have a feature in V5 already that basically people can create their own repositories, and you just give people a command to type, and it adds, with the URL for your repository, and it adds the repository to the updater, and it can just automatically fetch updates.
Okay.
So if you're an add-on dev, you can just distribute a link basically, and people type that in, and they get all of your add-ons in the list.
Right. What about you, Nifim? If you had to take one out,
it wouldn't be an add-on, but it would be moats include.
what?
Oh,
Why
yes.
do you say that?
I agree.
Is it not used anymore?
I
or?
really wish.
You'd be surprised.
They're used a lot, and I wish that they weren't included with Gear Swap. I mean, I don't have a problem with people using them. That's fine. I just wish that they weren't included with Gear Swap.
Okay, for the people that have no idea what moats is, I kind of have an idea what moats is, but can you explain moats?
So it's basically takes Gear Swap up to a whole nother level, and it's overcomplicated. You get way too much, and people start doing something that they really don't know what they're doing, and it gets messy fast. I think that's what I'm trying to avoid, is how messy it gets, and you just don't know what you're doing. I have all the help that people ask for.
Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I use those includes myself when I'm playing, so it's like, yeah, I like them. I understand why they're written the way they are, but for most people, most people aren't going into their and making luas and stuff in the first place, and then they see these libraries that are set up, it looks like for every job, so they just start using them without really understanding exactly what's going on. And then eventually we end up having to support that. So
Yeah, it goes to shit real fast. If it's like, okay, I made my first Lua, I think I know how to do things now. It just goes to shit 20 minutes later, and then they're just asking questions. You're like, Jesus Christ. We got a couple more questions here. Would they consider adding Equip Viewer to the launcher? I don't know if you guys know what Equip Viewer is, but it shows what you're wearing, and it has a little box. If you guys are on my stream right now, it's on the bottom right. Now, would you add that to the launcher?
I would have no problem.
Yeah, I mean, that's like
no problem with adding that.
Right, it's something that's purely an informational view, right? So it's just showing you the state of something. It's not automating anything. It's not doing anything really.
Right.
So
I can tell you exactly why it hasn't been added. Because the developer hasn't sent it to us. It's that simple.
There are a great number of pretty good add-ons that are in exactly that same scenario.
Yikes. Yeah, let me send an email to the dev, and we'll get that sorted out, because it's a great add-on. I get, when I stream, I get a lot of questions on my stream. Hey, what is that add-on on the bottom right? I'm like, hey, look, it's called Equip Viewer. Like, oh, they should have it on the window or launcher. I'm like, can't help you there, bud. I'm not part of the team.
Right.
But it is a great add-on. I think it's super clean too.
Yeah, in fact, I think that could already be ported to V5 with what we have available, exactly as it is.
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
In fact, I think it could probably be improved a little bit.
For sure, yeah. Performance-wise and everything, yeah.
Right. I would definitely love to see Equip Viewer on there. Okay, there's another question. Is V5 getting rid of plugins?
Yes.
Can you name a few, or is it on the down low for now?
There will be no plugins, period. Everything that exists will be an add-on open source.
Okay.
So if it's a plugin right now and we're adding we're not planning to like get rid of any features, but nothing will be a plugin. It'll
be all straight add-on. Okay, gotcha. That's good. So that'll be so that means performance-wise it'd be a lot better, correct?
I don't think that'll affect the performance at all. It's a maintenance thing. That means we don't have to maintain a plugin API. We don't have to recompile plugins every time something breaks. It's just, anybody who knows Lua and understands the API can come in and fix it and submit the fix for us, or we can fix it. It's easier to fix add-ons than it is to fix plugins. So.
Right.
Okay.
One really obvious scenario where that happens frequently or has happened frequently is, when new gear gets added that affects buff duration or something like that.
Right.
So like the new Corsair Dagger with the increased roll duration. Right now we completely have to rebuild timers to do that, and it's all in C code and not Lua. So when timers is in a Lua add-on, then anyone can just go in and fix that themselves and submit the fix to us. They don't have to wait for us to.
Right. I've definitely noticed that. I just got the Regal fucking Paladin Rune Fencer hands. I'm like, oh shit, my Crusade is 9 minutes in game with the in-game timer, and I'm looking at the plugin. It's like it still says 5 minutes. I'm like,
right.
You're lying.
Yep.
So okay, so it's just maintenance-wise, everything will be boom, done. Okay. We'll do a couple more questions here. Let me see if I could find. Somebody said skill chains add-on as well should be on Windowware. I have no idea what that is. I'm assuming it's if you do a weapon skill, it'll tell you what weapon skill will complete a skill
I've seen
chain.
it. Yeah, that's exactly what it does. It will show you what weapon skills will close into light or whatever based on what you.
Okay, that's pretty cool. I've never actually used that in my life.
Again, we welcome the developer to submit it.
Yep.
Is there a certain is there a link that I can spread out, or that I could post where people can hand in those things?
People should just submit it to our GitHub repo.
I'll grab the link to that later. Yeah. Okay, so if what add-on would you like to see come out? What would be an interesting add-on for you guys to definitely see come out for Windowware in the future that you haven't seen before, I guess?
That I haven't seen before. My personal little pet thing that I have not had time to work on at all is, like I said, a mod manager kind of thing. That's the one thing I would really like to do.
What about you, Nifim? What is there like any add-on that you would like to see a developer make and kind of work with?
That's a tough one.
I'm pretty sure you've seen a lot of add-ons in your time, but I guess it's kind of hard to kind of say because you haven't been playing recently, I guess, right? So,
well, it's more like it's got to be something that you haven't thought of that you want. So,
I get it, yeah. I'll get back to you on that. What about you, Zed?
It kind of goes on to something we were talking about earlier, that kind of the ultimate dream would be to replace the UI entirely for the game. So you would have a much more feature-rich chat log, with nice fonts and everything, and some of the tools are there already. It's just a lot of work to get to that. But that's what I'd like to see. You put the game into screenshot mode and then just use our UI on top of it.
Oh yeah, that would be pretty sick.
Yeah, I think I'd have to say the same thing. I've been working on a party menu as well, so that's been a lot of fun. And I think a nicer looking one is just perfect.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I installed a battle mod, and it kind of changes how the party chat is, like when you're fighting something. It looks clean. I think it looks clean. But it's configuring it is the biggest pain in the fucking ass ever. Meaning the chat filters and what you can filter in and filter out. Everything else, it looks fucking clean. But the configuration for it is straight trash.
It is very complicated. Yeah, looking at the XML for that is very overwhelming.
The wording on it was really weird and confused the fuck out of me. So I half-ass configured it, and here we are.
I don't know how it's going to turn out, but I know that Archon just recently started working on Battle Mod port, so.
Okay, yeah. I mean,
so that's in the works.
Yeah, definitely. It's like I said, it's a great add-on. It simplifies a lot of the text, a lot of text that's not needed, and it just simplifies it. And it looks clean.
I think the benefit that I've gotten out of Battle Mod personally is that I don't need to filter as much because it condenses a bunch of lines into less clutter. So like I can still see stuff that I want to see, but I don't have to filter it out because I'm not getting spammed by everything otherwise.
But yeah, man, this stuff that you guys sent, the couple pictures that you guys sent. Oh, I got another one. It looks super clean. Oh, is that Nifim? Is that the Alliance?
Yeah.
It's supposed to be on the bottom right. Now, you're able to say my party bar is on the bottom right. You're able to. Are you gonna make it to where you could kind of move it around? That's what you're trying to. That's what we're talking about, though, right? Like,
right.
That'd be pretty sick.
So in fact, everything in the UI, the stuff that we've shown so far, is based on a window widget that we have.
Okay.
So you can change the mode of that to a layout mode, and then just drag it around. And I think your Yoku's plan was to have some sort of global toggle where you could turn it on for every add-on that you have loaded and drag off everything around that you want, and then turn it off, and everything would just stay where it is. So
right, at that lock.
kind of like the UI tools that you'd find in a more modern MMO.
Right.
Right, like a HUD editor mode that you might see in 14 or some other MMO.
In WoW, yeah, I've definitely seen that in WoW. I've never played 14, so I can't really say that I have. But yeah, I definitely seen that in WoW. You can set up your see that's what makes that's what like further enhances the game, right? Because 11 is probably the only MMO in the game where you can actually sit there and swap gear, and you could customize your gear. You could swap it during battle and stuff like that. And now we're coming to the point where if we can sit here and customize our UI, like I could put my chat box wherever the fuck, I could put it on the top of the fucking screen, you know what I mean? Like if we're able to do that, I think that would be something amazing.
Yeah, you could even do more complicated things than that. You could have like multiple chat boxes, right? And have just your link shell text in one, or then battle stuff in the other thing.
I'm pretty sure that somebody's actually worked on a Discord add-on that like shows Discord chat in game.
Oh, cool. That's pretty sick.
I think that for a lot of people, at least in the development team, but also just outside, like the people who we talk to on Discord, for a lot of them, like replacing the entire UI is sort of like the ultimate goal. And as we build new sort of all the little parts, eventually, hopefully, we can actually just turn off the game's UI and everything else will take over.
Yeah, that would be pretty sick. I'm even more excited for WindowWare 5 now. I was actually kind of on the fence with the whole gear swap thing, like I said before. But it's something that's gonna take time, obviously, so we can't really rush it. But the information that we're receiving today, the pictures, the kind of samples that you sent us, the little teasers. That makes me so excited for the development of Windows 5. I definitely want to check it out. I definitely want to see how we can kind of speed up the process, I guess, right? More users using the early access now. The faster the bugs and all that shit can be found. I think that'd be pretty sick.
And if anybody like does any software development, like porting add-ons is a really, if you know Lua, porting add-ons is a really easy way to contribute. And if you don't, like you said, just reporting bugs, giving us feedback, what works, what doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's also important to say that, you know, the vast majority of the add-ons that have been developed for V4 are very easy to port to V5, right? It's not super complicated. It's not that different. It's just the real big ones that we need to focus on. So
Right.
if anyone else wants to tackle their favorite other add-ons, then that's just less work we have to do.
Word. And that's the way that you're gonna be able to contribute, right? If you're not gonna they're not accepting donations or anything like that, as we know for now. But if you guys want to contribute, definitely hit them up on that. Okay, this is kind of like a returning question, I guess. To the dev who commented on Auto RA being something he wished he didn't accept because it's lit on the line for him, how does he feel about auto control, the puppet add-on? It's super nice and practical, be able to swap frames with just a command.
I'm not super familiar with how auto control works, but my understanding is that it's not entirely automated. Like, you do have to actually push a button to like cause it to switch. So I don't really have a problem with that, but I may be mistaken on how it works. So
yeah, I've actually, this is the first time hearing about that add-on. I don't play Puppet Master, so I have no idea.
It's a lot like Azure Sets for Blue, but
okay, that makes a lot more sense.
I mean, if that's the case, then like personally, I wouldn't have a problem with that.
Yeah, that's perfectly fine for me.
That's something that definitely is almost always okay with me, is circumventing poorly designed UI in the game or poorly designed, menus and things like.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. That's fine.
I saw that Final Fantasy 14 hotbar or whatever the fuck add-on for for 11. I felt like it looked really tacky. I don't know how you guys feel, but it's kind of weird. I guess it's because I've never played 14 and it's kind of new. But like looking at your guys' stuff, that shit looks a lot more clean than, what was it, the HP bar, MP bar, and then the TP bar, and then they had like a bunch of squares on the bottom for your macros. I don't know. What do you guys feel, or how do you guys feel on people bringing in the 14 UI into 11?
I mean, my perspective is if someone wants to do that, then more power to them. I don't think I would use it myself because I don't think that type of control system works that well for 11. But like there's two 14 inspired things. There's the one that shows the target HP bar and your HP bar and things like that, and then there's the one that has the hot bars. And I kind of like the HP bar one, and in fact I prototyped a port of that back when we were first working on the UI stuff, and it ended up only being like 10 lines of Lua or something like that. So doing stuff like that is pretty easy with the V5 UI.
Okay.
And I mean, I mentioned before that 14 is my main game, so like I don't really have a problem with it, but I'm also a little biased there. So
true. How is 14, by the way? I heard vertical progression sucks.
Depends on who you ask. I personally like the vertical progression. So.
All right. Yeah, I think we went over a lot of topics today. Is there anything that you wanna inform the public or?
One thing I would say is that we do have a Discord server, so if anyone wants to join that and talk V5 with us or come with they need support questions about V4 stuff or whatever, that they can always find us there.
Cool.
I want to point out that we need help writing documentation too. Like, we brought
Yes,
Zeta on
please.
specifically to help write documentation, and he could use all the help he can get. So,
What do you mean by documentation? Like,
So if you look at like a lot of the add-ons and stuff, there's not really instructions for many of them, and that goes especially for the development side of things. Here's a library, here's how you can use it in your add-on, that sort of thing. That I do that for my day job. So I'm comfortable doing it, but there's so much content that we need to do that anyone who wants to help out with that sort of stuff is, that's always appreciated.
absolutely. Yeah, I mean, you don't want to do that shit all day, especially when you come home after work. Yeah, there are definitely a lot of ways for everybody to support Winnower. And I really appreciate all of your guys' work. Windower has been such a big thing since the beginning of the game, right? And it's still continuing on strong. We still have great people working on it. I'm really grateful to you guys, and I'm sure a lot of people out there are grateful to you guys as well. But yeah,
just hearing that, it makes it all worth it. So,
hopefully we can figure out something to support you guys in the future. I know, the whole donation thing and whatever, it's kind of going down the dark path because some people take it differently. But hopefully we can definitely do, hopefully we can do something big for you guys and support you guys more. But yeah, thank you guys so much for your guys' hard work, and I'm so excited to see what the future brings for Windower 5. Yeah, if you guys want to join my Discord, by the way, for you guys, the Windower team, I have like a Final Fantasy 11 like community section members, so if anything, like, they can hit you up on there if they're not on your Discord, etc. But yeah, thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it, and I hope we can take the burden off your guys' shoulder for some of the parts.
More help is
Thanks for
always
having
welcome.
us.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
And yeah, thank you guys for joining me on episode number, what was it, 6? I think 6, yeah. And yeah, make sure to send me a message on for my YouTube on what I can post informational wise. And yeah, I hope to have you guys again on here soon when you guys progress more on Windower 5. And
yeah, that'd be cool.
And thank you guys so much. I hope you guys had fun. I enjoyed this, and hopefully a lot more people get more information on Windower 5. And thank you guys so much.
Cool, thanks a lot.
I'll talk to you guys again soon. Appreciate it, guys.
Yep.
Have a good night.
You too.
All right. That was a lot of shit, chat.